Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple and Steve Willits. Sun is in the forecast. It's a perfect week for spring sports.
Yeah, finally, right? We were able to get most of our sports in last week, albeit under dark clouds. I don't think that's going to be a problem this week. It sounds like we're going to have sunny skies all around.
Yeah, and the athletes are looking forward to that. And we are so grateful for our sponsor, Carrie Krause, from Champions Real Estate Services. And with a serious lack of inventory right now, it's a perfect time to list your home for sale and reap maximum profits. Carrie is available for a consultation anytime. She can help you with deciding which upgrades will pay you back and which are not worth the money spent. When you list with Carrie, she will take care of all staging, photography, and marketing, and negotiating the best outcome for you. She'll bring the Starbucks. Just call and schedule a time that works for you.
And since we're going to talk about athletics here in a moment and things that have happened on the fields and on the courts, we should mention that Carrie was pretty active last week. It's nice to see that our sponsors also not only helping out with athletics in terms of sponsorship, but in other ways as well. There's a picture of Carrie right there along with her friend Carmen. They were over at the Bank of America Tower last Saturday doing the Big Climb, which is a fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I think we have one more picture there. Carrie made it all the way to the top,
wow.
The 73rd floor, again, raising money for a great cause and showing that you don't have to be a teenager necessarily to accomplish great things in athletics.
That's great. Good for Carrie. And we have baseball and softball action that you can report on?
We do. A nice week for the Lynnwood Royals baseball team. Not a big surprise here. We talked about them a little bit last week. Swept Mountlake Terrace this week, although all three games were very close. I think the differences in runs were 2, 2, and 1. So Lynnwood,
wow.
Mountlake Terrace playing a very tight series. The Royals are now 4-0 on the season. And yeah, they have a big series coming up with Meadowdale this week, so we'll see how that goes. But the Royals are off to a nice start.
Very good. And softball, well, actually, Edmonds-Woodway had some close games too, didn't they?
They did. They won 1 out of 3 against Shorewood, so they're 1-3 on the season right now. But again, playing one of the tougher teams around, we're able to get the victory on Friday to at least to get one game out of that series.
Okay. And what about softball?
Softball, Meadowdale Mavericks. What did you expect, right?
What else are we going to talk about?
Yeah, they had 3 games last week. They outscored their opponents 50-4 in those 3 games.
Wow.
They've played 4 games on the season now, outscoring their opponents 66-5 in those games. Mavericks, who again finished 3rd in state last year, they're already rolling again. One other team, though, locally that's off to a nice start, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. Won their first 3 games of the year. Finally lost to Meadowdale on Friday, but as you can tell, everybody's been doing that. But Hawks, a young team, 3 straight wins, had a no-hitter in their first game. Their second game of the season, Sammie Ruiz hits 3 home runs in 1 game against Kamiak.
Incredible. And
if that wasn't enough, she comes in the 6th inning and then strikes out the side in relief. Sammie had a great game. Doan was the one who threw the no-hitter against Ferndale last week. So we brought the 2 of them in for an interview. Here's what they had to say about their season so far. So the Mountlake Terrace Hawks softball team starts off their season with a no-hitter in 1 game. And then the following game, another player hits 3 home runs in a single game. Not a bad way to start the season, and we have both of those 2 players with us right now. Doan, who is a junior, pitched the no-hitter against Ferndale just about a week and a half ago. And then Sammie Ruiz, not to be outdone, 4 for 4, 3 home runs, a double, and 5 RBI, all in 1 game. Oh, and you scored 4 runs too, not bad. First of all, thank you for coming in with us today. We want to talk to you a little bit about not only the season right now, but just in terms of your softball careers, what you've done in the past. But I think we should start off with, let's start off with the no-hitter, Kira. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. It was really fun. I love pitching and just doing really well on the mound. And it was really fun pitching them, like playing with my movement and getting on to strike out, swing it.
Now, have you ever thrown a no-hitter before?
I have in the past for select. I think I've thrown like 1 perfect game back in 12 years old. But
now, I always hear pitchers give different stories to this, but now be honest, when you're throwing a no-hitter, do you know that you have one going, or is it something you don't really realize until?
No, I don't.
You do have it blocked out. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. And then Sammie, you stepped up the other day. Your freshman year last year, you had 2 home runs all season. You in the game that Kira threw the no-hitter, you hit a home run.
Yeah.
And then you turned around, you hit 3 against Kamiak. Tell us about that game a little bit. Were you swinging for the fences?
No, definitely not. I just kind of went out with like a strong mentality that I wanted to win this game and I wanted to help my team pretty much win the game. So I was going out there hitting for my team, not hitting for myself, and it just felt great when I was hitting the ball. I was making great contact with it.
And we do have the player of the game picture that we're going to put up right now. We broadcasted that game on the Sound Live Sports Network. Folks can go back and watch. Have you gone back and watched it yet?
Yeah, I have.
I don't blame her. I've watched it a few times myself. And so, yeah, you this third time you came up, or I should say it was your fourth at bat. You had 2 home runs and a double up to that point.
Yeah.
Are you trying a little bit harder to hit a home run knowing you already have 2?
No, not really. I was just, because there was someone on base, so I was like, just first, like, my first instinct was just to move the runner.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I can do to help the game move and get my teammates in. So.
And it worked. And not the first time these two have played together, by the way. We have another picture right here. Show us what we're looking at right now. This is, what's that trophy all about? Where was that from?
We won a tournament in fall ball.
2014.
Yeah, we had Sam pick up for my select team, which she's on right now this season. But yeah,
And the name of
it
the
was
select
super
team
fun.
is?
Snohomish SWAT.
Okay.
It was super fun. Yeah, we just we won the tournament. So
And hoping to maybe get Mountlake Terrace a little more hardware. They're 3-1 to start their season so far. Now, both of you pitch on the team as well. First of all, great pitching on this team, right? It's not just the two
Yeah.
of you. Kira, you got a couple other pitchers that can
yeah,
go
we
out there?
have Gabby, who's also an excellent pitcher. We've faced her a lot through our softball careers, and we know she's.
It's Gabby Calhoun, and then Jazz pitches a little bit as well,
Jazz,
I think.
yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll see a little less of her on the mound because she's going to take more time behind the plate this year. So we really need more.
Catching's kind of
Catching.
important, right?
Yeah,
Especially for
definitely.
pitchers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about other positions you both play in the field. Where are you playing when you're not pitching?
I play shortstop when I'm not pitching, and
I play shortstop too, and then second base.
So you two are working together on potential double plays from time to time, right?
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. How's that going? You've played with each other for a while. Do you feel like you
Yeah.
know each other well enough to where it's easy to turn the double play?
Definitely. There's a very strong connection between us. I feel like I can trust her, especially like when we're both playing middle infield. So I know she's going to be there at the base when I need to throw it there. So
Sure. Now, other teammates on your team that are having nice seasons so far that you are hoping that will help you get where you're going here this season. We've got a picture, I think, of, I believe, Ashley Fitzgerald right there. One of only 2 seniors on this team. It's a pretty young team. Talk to
Yeah.
us a little bit about Ashley, and then just the fact that you've got a couple seniors. I would imagine they're kind of taking the role of leader, right?
yeah, they've helped a lot. They're very strong leaders, and they help push us to be the best we can be, give us a lot of confidence, especially like when we go up to bat. Me and Ashley always have like a little talk before, and she always pumps me up, and so it always helps.
Nice. And now, Kira, you're one of only a few juniors as well. There really aren't very many juniors on this team.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the other 2 juniors that play with you. We already mentioned Gabby Calhoun a little
Yeah,
bit.
we have Gabby, and then we have a transfer from. I believe she's from. I don't want to botch this, but I believe she's from Maryland this year, but she has lived here before. But we have Alyssa. She's a new player. Kind of a little inexperienced, but I think she's a good addition with just her athletic talent and skill.
And a lot of sophomores on this team. Sammie, you being one of them. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about the other sophomores. We talked about Jazz already. Amaya Kopp over on third base, right?
Yeah, third base, and she also catches too, which is a lot of help because we need a lot of catching back there, and it's hard on the knees sometimes for just one person to catch every game. So it's nice having a lot of players that can play different positions too.
Sure. And then we've got another freshman actually a couple freshmen on your team. We'll bring up one of the photos here. That's Julia Brocksmith, who incidentally hit a home run in the game we broadcasted against Kamiak. So, Sammie, you weren't the only one having fun, right?
Yeah.
Gabby Calhoun also hit a home run in
Yeah.
that game. But for a freshman to come on this quickly and to make an impact, and I know Sarah Davis also plays for you a little bit. So there's some good freshmen on this team.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, in terms of the rest of the season, what are the goals? I mean, obviously district's one of them. Once you kind of get there, anything goes, right? It's a tough division.
Yeah.
We saw the Meadowdale game the other day was a little bit rough. Mainly 1 inning though. You were ahead after 3 innings.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Wesco in general? It's a tough conference, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that every team is going to be a hard competitive game because you never know what team's going to show up. Like one day, a team can have a bad day. That doesn't mean that their team is necessarily bad. It just means that they had an off day. So you never know which one's going to come out and play hard.
Sure. So we will see. Plenty of games coming up. One of which is on Wednesday, Mountlake Terrace versus Lynnwood. We bring that up because, weather permitting, we will be broadcasting that one on the Sound Alive Sports Network as well, so folks can tune in. Kira, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you as well. I saw the other day that you committed to Western Washington to play softball.
Yeah.
You're only a junior, so you had a little bit of time to make that decision. You must have liked it a lot. What's appealing about Western?
Well, Western, I know the coach is actually really good friends with my own select coach, so they have very similar team philosophies, which I love, like family first, and a lot of that team bonding is more important than your personal goals on the team. So I really like that, and then I also love how close it is to home, and then also the biology program. I'm really looking into like becoming a scientist later, so Western seemed like a perfect fit for me.
Sounds like a perfect fit. And now you mentioned team bonding. It's certainly something that Mountlake Terrace has had over the years. Shannon Rasmussen, your coach, and her father Craig also coaches on the team.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what that experience has been like. Shannon just seems like the type of coach everybody wants to play for. How much fun are you having playing for her?
It's lots of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
She's really nice. She loves us. We love her back, and it's like a big family on the team. She also she pitched in college, so she brings a lot of that experience back on the team, like talking about what it was like for her and helping relate to us.
And that experience has been helping so far. Once again, Mountlake Terrace off to a 3-1 start. Busy week coming up at Shorecrest. Then you come home for that Wednesday game we talked about at Lynnwood. Then you go to Glacier Peak on Friday. Ladies, thank you very much for coming in. Best of luck all season. Sammie,
Thank you.
great job so far. Kira, thank you. And we'll continue to watch the Hawks and talk about them every week on their quest to get to district playoffs sometime later on in May.
What talented athletes those two young ladies are.
Yeah, and they're only sophomores and juniors. That whole team really very young. We mentioned last week Meadowdale's young as well. So
Yeah.
the Mavericks and the Hawks are going to be very, very tough for the next few years. And like you said, the Mavericks maybe this year and the Hawks not too far away right now, and they're playing well.
That's right. Well, and you know, the next segment that we're going to take a look at shortly involves a sport that is near and dear to my heart. As you know, I spent many years as a tennis mom. My daughter played at Edmonds-Woodway, and I spent an awful lot of time sitting outside watching those matches. So I'm looking forward to that interview, too, with the Lynnwood girls tennis team.
But we should mention Edmonds-Woodway also getting a victory on Friday. So
Yes,
you're
they did.
the Warriors, who are near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
4-3 over Meadowdale, so a nice match for those two teams.
Yeah.
But you're right, Lynnwood off to a very nice start this year. They won their first 3 matches. We brought 2 of the girls in who play on that team, 2 names that we're very familiar with, both Reilly Walsh and Taylor Fahey, getting considerable mention during the winter months as they were members of that Lynnwood Royals basketball team that went to state. They actually won state championships last year as sophomores on that team, and now they play tennis for the Royals. 2 girls who really only picked up tennis in the last 2 years. A fun interview we had with them, and here's what they had to say about their season and what the season looks like moving forward. Taylor Fahey and Reilly Walsh, first of all, thank you for coming in. Doubles partners, right? You play together on the tennis courts. I think we got to talk a little bit about basketball before we go any further, though. So you won the state championship as sophomores, took 3rd place this year as juniors. How much fun was that?
A lot of fun.
The best experience ever.
Yeah.
Playing in the Tacoma Dome under the bright lights, always a good time, right?
Yeah, no words can describe it.
Yeah, well,
honestly.
now you go to the tennis courts where things are a little bit different. You go from playing in Tacoma back in March where there were a few thousand fans in the stands watching you to playing on tennis courts where sometimes it's just a few students and parents. Is it kind of relaxing a little bit knowing that there's not as much pressure, or do you enjoy that a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like, it's so much more quiet because, like, nobody's really allowed to cheer in tennis, whereas, like, in basketball, everybody's just so loud and, like, in your ear, so.
Yeah, you can kind of focus a little more, and it's a little bit easier that way, right? Now, I should mention, tennis is a fairly new sport to both of you. You're both juniors. You both picked up rackets for the first time your freshman years, is that correct?
My freshman year, her sophomore year.
So you're very new to the sport.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities from basketball to tennis. Did playing basketball for so many years help your tennis game out?
I would say so. I mean, it's lateral movement,
Mhm.
right?
Just general athleticism, I think, like, carried over.
So maybe a little easier if you hadn't been playing basketball and you're able to kind of
Yeah,
utilize some
for
of
sure.
those movements and whatnot. Now, talk to me about this Lynnwood team. You got off to a nice start this year. You won your first 3 matches as a team. Let's talk a little bit about some of the singles players. Who can we watch out there if we go to a Lynnwood Royals match?
Ariana Ashori, Kaya Ingram. What else we got? Betty.
Betty, yeah.
And it
Isn't
kind of
it Hannah
switches
Ching?
around. Yeah,
Hannah
Hannah.
Ching.
So all 4 of those ladies and a few others, and then we come to the doubles, and the #1 doubles team with me right here. You played with each other on the basketball court. You've known each other for a while. How much does that help knowing that you're friends and that you've also played other sports in terms of working together on the court, on
We
the tennis
definitely
court?
have like a connection.
Yeah.
You get a feel for your teammates, you know. So I spent a lot of time with Reilly, obviously on the basketball court, so that carries over to the tennis court.
Yeah, like we definitely communicated. Like a lot of other doubles teams that we play, like they'll kind of like bark at each other and chip at each other. Like whereas me and Tay, we're just like really nice and like we're friends. So
Yeah.
And so it works out well. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned to me off camera a minute ago, occasionally when you're losing, you have a phrase that you use with each other. Tell me a little bit about that and where that came from.
well, our little phrase is fighting Irish, and it's because me and Tay are both Irish, and like our dads are really good friends. They're both Irish. We just have like a lot in common.
Yeah.
So when you're struggling a little bit, you're having trouble getting going, you just look at each other and
We just say fighting Irish.
It's the Irish in us, Tay. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
has it worked?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
No, like our last match, we were down 1-5,
1-5.
and we made it all the way back and won by a tiebreaker against Sketchel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More tennis players might want to try that then. It might just work. You've got 4 matches coming up this week. I know one of them was due to the fact that there was a rain out. How hard is it to stay focused and to be fresh for 4 matches in 1 week? Is that difficult playing tennis, or are you looking forward to playing
like-
4 matches?
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it, but like I wish we had a couple more practices in.
In between,
Yeah.
that would be nice. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
So they're only juniors. The team's rolling right now. 3 out of 4 victories so far this season. Coach Rob McMahon's fun to play for. McMahon's fun.
He's amazing. I love
Yeah.
McMeans.
Okay, so they like their coach. They're having a good season so far. And they're going to continue to play basketball. You've got another year left. No Michaela Pivick, no Jordan Edwards. It's going to be a little bit tougher, but you both play a bigger role now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll still be fun.
So they've got plenty of tennis to go still, 2 years if you count next year, and a fun basketball season coming up next spring. Reilly, thank you very much for coming in. Taylor, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
Best of luck, and continue to follow the Lynnwood Royals tennis team. Right here, we'll be talking about them all season long.
It's nice to see girls who are making that kind of a transition from one sport to the other, and multi-sport athletes. It's just really refreshing in this day and age with so many people specializing.
Oh, absolutely. And tennis is always a fun sport in the spring anyway, so why not, right? And
Yeah.
as they mentioned, a lot of the same movements. Certainly it's an easy sport to transition to, and I'm happy to see the 2 of them doing it.
Yeah. And soccer is next on the agenda, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of teams having great weeks. Lynnwood, first of all, defeated Everett 8-1. They defeated Oak Harbor 6-3. The big story in those games, besides scoring 14 goals in two matches, Dane Evinger, 4 goals against Oak Harbor, 3 goals against Everett, 2 hat tricks in 1 week.
Huh.
Look out for the Royals. And the Edmonds-Woodway Warriors, boy, are they tough right now.
Amazing.
5-0 so far. They've outscored their opponents 17-1. Why not bring a couple of their players in? We had a couple of them in earlier tonight for an interview, and here's what they had to say about their season. The Edmonds-Woodway soccer team is off to an incredible start this year. Should mention that last year, 12 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws. Also made it to the state tournament, as well as losing the district championship game to Glacier Peak in a shootout. But you guys have taken it to another level. Right now I've got Ethan Hopkins and Jake Stevenson with me. Guys, thank you for coming in. 5 games into the season, 5 victories. You've outscored your opponents 17-1. Last week alone, you had 3 games. You defeated Monroe 5-0, Redmond 3-0. Then you shut out Stanwood. You scored 6 goals. What has gotten into the Warriors?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think our team has better communication this year than last year. While working together, working hard in practice, and it's all paying off so far.
Now, Ethan, you guys only scored 37 goals in 20 matches last year, which isn't bad. You did hold your opponents to 19, so didn't need necessarily that many goals. I know you could have used maybe one in that Glacier Peak game.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a
for
ton of them right now, and you're leading the team in assists right now. Talk to me about what's been happening with the offense.
I would say for offense, it's mostly our chemistry that has been I would say it was better this year than it is last year. We know the guys a lot better, I would say. Other than that, I think it's just everyone on our team now is committed and that we kind of know where we can go and we know what we want. So that's kind of like our motivation to do better this year.
Yeah, a big
So-
game against Stanwood. You scored 6 goals, and we have a picture right there of you, and it looks like you're not exactly doing a soft pass to one of your teammates there. It looks like a shot on goal.
Yeah.
Nice win for you guys on Friday night, right?
Thank you. Yeah, it was.
Now, I know we've got another picture here, too, of Jose Alman Cruz. Between Jose and Armin to now, 11 goals this year so far. Talk to me a little bit about the offensive side of things, since you're feeding these guys the ball a little bit.
So together they're amazing. Armand is just a little animal. He's everywhere. He's so small, but he's so strong, I would say. So he's definitely always in the right spot. Even though he's a holding mid, he can be up right next to the forward sometimes, or outside mid, wherever. He's just all around the field. And then, so he's kind of just always in the right place. And then Jose, he just has the capability to dribble 3-4 defenders and just somehow just slot in the back of the net. So together, I can easily feed Jose the ball and work with Armand. So that has been a lot easier for my job, and so which resulted to a lot of goals, I would say. So
I want to bring up another picture of another one of your fellow midfielders, Kyle Ari. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys are doing in the midfield this year.
Mainly, we're trying to keep it basic. I think we have gone from 4, so either 2 in the center and then 2 out wide, or 3 in the center and 2 out wide. So we try to keep the diamond or just a little staggered. So usually play pretty simple, although we try to combine within the middle more than just dropping it off to the defense or being, I guess, slower with the ball. So we just kind of try to keep a high-paced game, which has helped us win all 5 games so far. So.
Yeah, and you've been doing a great job of it. And Jake, you're on that back line.
Yeah.
We've got another picture here. Who are we looking at here from that Stanwood
this
game?
is Njaka. He's new to the team this year. He's also a senior, but he's never played for the high school team, and so far he's came in and helped us a lot.
Now, you and I were talking before we went on air. Obviously, again, you play defense. 19 goals last year as a team. This year, only 1. What are some of the goals for the Warriors this year?
Our goals is we want to score 30 goals on our team or more.
You're almost there already.
Yeah, so far we're doing well. We want to hold all of our opponents to 10 goals or less. We want to be first in districts and make it past the first round of state. So pretty much top what we did last year.
Now, on the defensive side of things, to accomplish some of those goals, you need good goaltending. You had a very good one last year. Griffin Small, who graduated, he's playing college ball where right now?
St. Martin's.
St. Martin's, okay.
Yep.
Now, so who's taking Griffin's spot this year?
We have 2 keepers this year. We have Greg and Mackie. Mackie's a freshman, Greg is a senior. For the most part, they've been kind of switching off. They're both very strong. I'm happy to have both of them. Replacing Griffin, like you said, is not easy. Griffin's a hell of a goalie. But Mackie and Greg have been doing a great job and working hard at practices together. So far, it's doing good.
And I've got to think for you guys, it helps to have a coach who's been at this for a while. Talk to me about Tony Gilman a little bit.
He's very, I would say he's definitely very committed. He's been around for a very long time. One of my, I would say, mentors, he's about 30 years old. When he was at Edmonds-Woodway, he was also coached under Tony. So obviously he's been around for a while. So he kind of just knows the program very well, I would say. And with assist from Carly, I would say they work together pretty well because each coach has their own individual goals and what they want of the team, and so they balance each other out pretty well. So having, I guess, both aspects of both coaches has definitely led us to be more successful this year.
And it's working so far, and certainly you have a lot of season left, but let's talk a little bit about the future. You're both seniors. We've got a potential walk-on football player next year and a future soccer player in college. Let's talk to you first, Jake, a little bit about where you're going and what your thoughts are for what you're going to do next year.
Yeah, I'm going to the University of Montana. I want to walk on the football team and punt. If not, it doesn't work out, just go to school. But looking forward to just going to college and rooming with my cousin. So that should be a good time. I got a few cousins over there, so it'll be easy. Just graduate into that. I'm excited.
Perfect.
Should
And
be
Ethan,
fun.
where are you heading off to next year?
Azusa Pacific University. It's a 4-year small Christian school down near LA, not in LA, but near. I'm going to play Division II soccer, so that's exciting. So I'll be going there as a freshman and playing for all 4 years. So just there to, not quite sure what I'm going to major in, but I'm just there for the 4 years, and we'll see where it leads to.
And you've got a big senior year coming up first. I should ask, too, your girls' soccer team, state champs last year. Do they ever give you a hard time about that? And is there a little extra pressure knowing that they've already got a title? Or
A little
what?
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
You ever Maddie Schultz ever come out and scrimmage with you guys or anything like that? Or?
Luckily not.
Well, not for our school, but she's a part of the same club that I am for year-round soccer, so she's definitely played with us a few times, which is fun.
And
So
let's give a mention of that. Who are you playing for when you're not playing for?
Crossfire premier.
Okay,
So,
one of the top teams, yeah.
yeah, so it's a year-round program, Division 1, I think. I'm not too familiar with the divisions, but yeah, so we also do pretty well. So we, in fact, actually won state for the Washington Cup, so we'll be heading out to regionals after high school season. So
So Ethan's already got one title. Now he's trying to get another. Jake, I noticed when you walked in tonight, you have a boot on your foot. What's your prognosis? I know you've missed a couple of games already with an injury. When are we going to see you back out on the field?
Hoping 2 weeks, if not less. That's my goal. I mean, nothing's broken, nothing's fractured, anything like that. So hoping 2 weeks, but I mean, just gonna play it by ear, rest up, ice, all that good stuff.
And he'll be ready to go by playoff time. But first and foremost, you guys have games against Meadowdale on Tuesday night at Edmonds Stadium.
oh yeah,
Then you go to at Shorewood Friday night at Shoreline Stadium. So you can come on out, watch Ethan play, watch Jake cheer the team on and get healthy, and then hopefully in a few weeks we'll get you back out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, again, great start to your season. Continued success. Best of luck.
Oh.
Ethan Hopkins, thank you very much.
thank you.
Jake Stevenson,
Thank you very much.
appreciate you coming in. We will be talking a lot about these guys throughout the next month and a half, hopefully longer as they make a run towards state. We'll see.
I imagine that boys soccer team is feeling some pressure from the girls' success.
Yeah, and how can you not? If you're at that school and they've already won a state championship, you certainly want to put your own banner up. And the way they're playing right now, they might be well on their way to doing that.
Yeah, they might very well be. And the Edmonds-Woodway boys and girls both had some good success at the track and field this week, too.
They did. One of the meets that was covered by myedmondsnews.com featured Edmonds versus Everett and Shorewood. Girls defeated both of those teams. So we should give a nice little shout out to Molly Carden won the 100, Susan Kim won the 1600. The boys also having a nice showing. They beat Everett and lost to Shorewood. As a matter of fact, we have a picture of the 1600 relay that we're going to put up. Jared Yu, Sam McLuhan, Anindo Khan, and Grady Oakson bringing home the victory for the 1600 for the boys. So a nice job by the Warriors there.
Okay. And any other track or any other sports we've forgotten about?
No, there's a lot going on right now. So
Yeah.
we obviously didn't cover it all this week, but we're going to continue to do so. We haven't even interviewed anybody from the golf scene yet or track, and we've got some great athletes in both of those sports around here. So stay tuned for those.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that we're having a chance to bring those athletes in. I think it's good to get them in the spotlight and to have them talk about their seasons. So thanks for setting all those up.
it's-
You've been working really hard, I know, to bring all those kids in.
It's
so.
been a lot of fun for us too, getting to know them a little bit, and again, putting a spotlight on what they've been doing, not only accomplishments on the track or on the field, but also behind the scenes and what they're doing in with their schoolwork and other things. It's nice to showcase these young people.
Yes, it is. And you have something kind of exciting coming up next week when we do our show next week. You're going to be coming from where?
I'm going to be coming from Houston. We're going to Skype me in. I am heading down to the Final Four for my job, which I work some of the events that lead up to the Final Four games. So I won't be working at the stadium where the games are, but I will be working at the convention center where all of the Fan Fest interactive things are going on, and we're going to try to do a show from there with you here in the studio and me down in Houston, Texas.
Okay, well, fingers crossed the technology gods are on our side for that. And, you know, I'd also want to put in a plug for something, Steve, that we're doing on Thursday night. And this is something that I think all the parents would be interested in knowing about, and maybe some of the students. But we are going to be broadcasting live the superintendent finalist interviews from Mountlake Terrace High School. This is something that our team that normally does our sports broadcasts from Mountlake Terrace is going to help us with. So if you want to see those two finalists in action, as it were, being interviewed by parents who are there at the Mountlake Terrace Theater, we will be broadcasting that live on all three of our websites. We'll have a broadcast right there for you to watch. So stay tuned for that. We hope that you'll enjoy that, and I look forward to hearing from you from Houston.
Yeah, and before then, also Wednesday, folks can tune in and watch the Mountlake Terrace
That's right.
Lynnwood softball game.
That's right.
Normally, this is where I throw in a weather permitting comment, but fingers
I
crossed.
think we're good this week.
We should be good this week, but you never know. So Lynnwood and Mountlake Terrace, hopefully coming to you from Mountlake Terrace Field.
Okay, very good. Well, have a good week, everybody, and we will see you next week.